I am Reed, I am 27. Just an average dude, IV made tons of money mistakes in my 20s, and now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. Man, social anxiety, I don't even know where to start with this one because it hit me so hard for so long, and I know a lot of you probably get it. Maybe you are going through it right now, maybe you've been through it, maybe you are still in the thick of it and you are watching this wondering if there is even a way out. I want to tell you right now there is, but I am not going to sit here and pretend it is easy. It is not. It took me years, literal years, man, and I still deal with it sometimes. But the difference between who I was at 22 and who I am now at 27 is night and day. And I want to break down exactly how I made that shift. Let me paint you a picture of how bad it got for me. I could not walk into a Chipotle. Think about that for a second. Chipotle, a fast casual burrito spot where you literally just walk in, point at stuff, and walk out. I couldn't do it. I would drive past it and feel my chest tighten up. I would park in the lot and sit there for 10 minutes, man, just talking myself into it, and then I would drive away. I couldn't go grocery shopping. I couldn't go buy new clothes. Every time I wanted to eat out, I had to find a place with a drive-thru. That was my only option, and one time I found a Pizza Hut that had a drive-thru, and I felt like I hit the jackpot. I was so excited, man, because I love pizza and I finally got to have it without having to walk inside and interact with anybody. That is where I was at. That is not living. That is surviving, and barely. And here is the thing that a lot of people don't understand about social anxiety. It doesn't just affect the moments when you are in public, it bleeds into everything. It affects your work because you can network or interview or speak up. It affects your relationships because you can connect with people. It affects your happiness because you are constantly avoiding things that you actually want to do. I missed out on so many experiences, man, so many memories I could have made, so many people I could have met, and that realization hurts. It really does. Because we only get so much time here, and I spent a huge chunk of mine hiding. So how did I start getting out of it? I am going to walk you through the steps I took, and I want to be real with you. None of this was fast. None of it was linear. I fell off plenty of times, but these are the things that actually moved the needle for me. Step one was getting a job. And I know that sounds basic, but before that, I was in a really dark place, man. I was not working, I was barely showering, I would spend my whole day in my room playing video games with the curtains drawn, little to no sunlight, little to no human contact. I was depressed, I was anxious, and I was stuck in this loop where feeling bad made me do nothing, and doing nothing made me feel worse. So breaking that loop started with getting out of the house. I got a job, any job. It wasn't glamorous, it was my dream career, but it got me out of that room. It gave me a reason to shower and put on clothes and interact with people, even if it was just small talk with coworkers. And that alone started shifting something in me. From there, I started working on my finances. And this was huge because for me, a lot of my anxiety came from feeling out of control. And nothing made me feel more out of control than my money situation. I had debt, I had no savings, I was living paycheck to paycheck and using credit cards to fill the gap. I felt like I was drowning and nobody knew. Every time I thought about money, my chest would get tight. So I decided to face it head on. I started learning about personal finance. Not from some rich guru selling a course, I just started watching videos and reading articles. I learned about budgeting, I learned about the snowball method for paying off debt, I learned about emergency funds and how to actually save money, and I started small. I tracked every dollar I spent, I cut out the unnecessary stuff, I started putting 20 bucks a week into a savings account. It wasn't much, but it was something, and as my debt went down and my savings went up, I started feeling something I hadn't felt in a long time: confidence. Because I was taking control of something that had been controlling me, and that confidence started to spill over into other areas of my life. Step two was working out and taking care of my body. And I know this sounds funny, man, it really does. But hear me out. Whenever I fell into a rut, I would go 3 days without showering, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, and I would feel like complete garbage. But taking a shower, man, a real shower, scrubbing yourself clean, that would instantly make me feel a little bit better. Same thing with cleaning my room when my space was a mess, my mind was a mess. So I started making my bed every morning, I started keeping my room tidy. I started clearing the clutter, and those small changes created a ripple effect. On top of that, I started working out and eating a little bit healthier, and this was a long battle. It didn't change in a month, it didn't even change in 3. It took a full year of consistently working out and eating better. And when I say consistently, I don't mean I was perfect. I was hitting the gym every single week. I was eating clean all the time. There were weeks where I would fall off completely, 2 weeks where I did nothing, a whole week where I ate nothing but fast food. But here is the key. I always got back to it. Every time I fell off, I told myself, okay, let us get back to it. Let us get back to working out. Let us try to get that dream physique, and over a full year of that on and off rhythm, my body started to change. And I'll be honest with you, I lost a lot of that progress later. Life happens. But when you make those changes for the first time and you see that transformation in the mirror, it changes something in your brain. The confidence you get from that, man, it is insane. You start walking differently, you start talking differently, you start believing that you can actually do things. And once I had that confidence from getting my finances together and getting my body and health and mind in a better place, I started doing the real work. I started putting myself into uncomfortable situations on purpose. And this is the part everyone talks about, but nobody tells you how to actually do. The advice is always just face your fears. Just step out of your comfort zone, but nobody explains how to build up the courage to actually do that. Well, for me, it came from the foundation I just talked about. Once I had my money right and my body right and my space right, I started to believe in myself. I started to see myself differently. Instead of thinking, man, I am not cool, or I don't look good, or nobody wants to talk to me, I started talking to myself differently. I would look in the mirror and tell myself, bro, you look good, you are doing good. If they don't, mess with you. It does matter. You are cool, you are good. And that might sound corny to some people, but when you've spent years putting yourself down and believing the worst about yourself, you have to actively change that narrative. You have to start talking highly about yourself. You have to start believing that you are enough. And once I had that mindset shift, I finally did something that scared me more than anything. I asked out the girl I had been crushing on at work. Let me tell you this story, man, because it really shows how far I came. When I first met her, I could not talk to her. Like, literally could not. She would come up and say something to me, and I would just stare at her like a deer in headlights. And then I would walk away. It was bad, so bad. And then I would sit there later thinking about all the things I should have said, all the things I wished I had said. If you know what I am talking about, you sit there and you imagine yourself being confident and saying the right thing and being the person you want to be. But you can actually do it because the fear is too strong. Well, for a year, I worked on myself, a full year. And then I walked up to her face to face and I asked her out. It wasn't smooth. It was like a movie. My hands were shaking, my voice cracked, but I did it, and she said yes. And now we've been together for years, man. That one moment changed everything for me, because after I did that, I felt like I could conquer the world. If I could face my biggest fear and come out on top, what else could I do? And that is the thing about building confidence, man. It compounds just like money. The more you do, the more you can do. Every time you step into an uncomfortable situation and survive it, you prove to yourself that you can handle it. And next time it gets a little easier, and the time after that a little easier, until one day you look around and realize you are living a life you never thought you could have. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you the anxiety ever fully goes away. It doesn't, at least not for me. I still have days where I feel uncomfortable walking into a crowded store. I still have moments where I feel that old familiar panic creeping in, but the difference is now I know how to handle it. I know that I can walk in, do what I need to do, and walk out and be okay. And that alone, man, that is so huge for me, because for so long I couldn't even do that. I missed out on so many experiences because of how I felt, and that is a sad thing to realize, but it also motivates me to keep pushing, to keep putting myself out there, to keep living my life the way it should be lived. And I want to say this to anyone watching who feels stuck right now: it is going to be different for you. My path might not be your path. The things that help me get out of my rut and into a confident place might not be the same things that work for you. But the principles are universal. Get your finances in order, because money stress will eat you alive. Take care of your body, because your physical health and your mental health are connected. Clean up your space, because your environment affects your mindset. And start putting yourself into uncomfortable situations, because that is where growth happens. None of this is easy. It is going to take time. It is going to take patience. You are going to fall off. You are going to have bad weeks. You are going to feel like you are not making progress. But as long as you keep getting back up and keep moving forward, you will get there. I missed out on so much because of social anxiety, man. So many experiences, so many memories, so many connections, and that hurts to think about. But I am not that person anymore. And I am grateful every single day that I took the time to work on myself, because now I get to live my life instead of hiding from it. Peace.